you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a big believer in starting with the best possible bus for your schoolie build platform. After all, it's the one decision that you can't change your mind on down the road. The bus you pick is the bus you're stuck with. With that in mind, me and my friend Brianna here at Wolf Dog Buses decided to take a crack at making the ultimate build platform and making it available for sale for people like you who might be looking for just such a thing. In this case, we started with the 2009 GMC Short Bus, the one you see behind me. We've done a few choice upgrades and add-ons along the way to make it into what we think is the perfect starting point for a DIY schoolie build. Don't go anywhere in this video because I'll be giving you a brief tour of this bus, explaining why I think it's such a good platform, detailing the things we did to it, and at the end, if you're interested in it, I'll have information on how to purchase it if you think it's the right fit for you. My name's Chuck Cassidy. Don't go anywhere. We're touring this dream build platform. When it comes to finding the right build platform for your schoolie, I'm not a believer in messing with anything that's not a unicorn, and that is, in my opinion, what this bus is. It is a short bus, obviously built on a van cutaway chassis, which is a 2009 Chevy Duramax based platform, so it is a diesel, and it does have some of the emissions controls on it, but it doesn't have DEF, and that is a key selling point for me. This is a very high output engine. It's got 250 horsepower, and in a bus this size, that really moves. I don't know if you've seen my larger bus built on a full-size platform that only has 180 ponies under the hood, and this thing smokes it in every way. It really drives a lot like a car, and I love it for that because the big advantage of a small bus is something that's easy to drive, easy to maneuver, and makes you feel comfortable behind the wheel. A couple other things that make this bus really special and unique, in my opinion, is that it doesn't have rear wheel wells. The floor inside the bus is completely flat, and that really opens up a lot of possibilities when you're designing your floor plan. You don't have to deal with these big humps right in the middle of where you always want to put things. I really love that feature about this. Additionally, it has very little rust on the undercarriage. In fact, I would say it's got a lot less rust than you would expect for a vehicle of this age, and that's always a big selling point for me. And the fact that this platform also has a stout transmission and drives really well and is mechanically sound, I feel really comfortable using it as a build platform. Now, starting from there, looking at the exterior, obviously it's got a brand new paint job that was professionally done by a shop here in town. And that paint job really sets this bus apart, and it's going to guarantee that this body stays in good condition as you drive it all over the country. And it adds a little bit of legitimacy to a schoolie build, which sometimes, no offense to the DIYers out there, doesn't always look the best. And that can raise eyebrows if you're trying to get into places like RV parks. Working our way around the outside of the bus, there's a few other things that have already been taken care of for you. Up top, we've got a cedar roof deck that looks great, and it's going to age beautifully as this bus goes down the road. And down here, we've added a buyer's toolbox for extra storage underneath the bus where you can keep things that you don't want in your living space. This is a super handy addition, and they are kind of difficult to install. It's nice that it's done and it's painted because you can never have too much storage. I also want to point out the window deletes that have been installed. So the sides of this bus are completely blanked out and ready to have new RV windows or whatever windows of your choosing installed. If you watch this channel, you know I'm not the biggest fan of keeping the stock schoolie windows for livability, even though I do think they are the best looking window option. Having mold in your walls, in my opinion, trumps those aesthetic concerns. A few other great things that have been done to it: all of the bumpers have been painted black, the wheels have been repainted black, and from an exterior standpoint, this bus is looking really, really good and nothing like it did as a school bus. We've also gone ahead and replaced the red and amber flashing lights across the top with clear LEDs to make sure that you are legal in all 50 states, because that is a requirement that those be removed in some states, and you picked up some extra lighting along the way. On the roof, we've got 600 watts of solar mounted to that cedar roof deck, and we've also added a marine hatch. It's a really high quality option that gives you easy access up to your roof so you can get up there and enjoy that rooftop deck for the sunsets you're inevitably going to see in your life on the road. Taking a look inside the bus, and you will see a brand new subfloor with 1 inch of XPS foam insulation installed underneath it, and I did this just per my prescribed favorite method of the full floating subfloor with no additional fasteners through it. It's a great solid option and an outstanding starting point for your interior build. We've also gone ahead and installed the first course of strapping or exterior wall framing around the outside, and this thing is ready to have your interior framing installed so you can get started building right away. Wrapping up the exterior, I gotta talk about one of my favorite cool features on this bus, And if you're kind of into gizmos and gadgets like me, you're gonna love this. So a lot of times, figuring out how to handle the front entry door can be a real challenge with our buses. And this bus has it covered for you, and check this out. Down here is a little ignition switch that you put a key in, and you can use the key when you turn it to open and then close the electric front door. Now, of course, you could change your mind and swap this for any kind of other door, and it is also controllable from the inside. I think that's a sweet little feature, don't you? All right, walking into the bus here, the dash on this thing is just super clean. Really happy with the way this dash looks. And the mileage is sitting at right around 204,000 miles, which is right at that level that you would expect from a bus of this age that's been regularly driven. It's maintained well, and it really shows no issues at all. It runs, drives, and stops very nicely. The driving position is super comfortable, and there's that front control panel where you can open and close the door. Well, I hope I've convinced you that this bus is more than just a pretty face, although she really is a pretty face. And if you're interested in purchasing this bus, there's a link in the video description that you can use to reach out to me or Brianna. We'll give you all the information you need. I think it's a great starting point, and if this bus isn't right for you, hopefully this video gave you some information on what I look for when I'm looking for myself or for a client to help them find the foundation for their build of their dreams. My name's Chuck Cassidy. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Savage, savage, doo 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 doo.